Happy New Year, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and I am a 6th grade math and science teacher, and I also love all things Disney. And today I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for starting the new year off on a great foot for both yourself and your students. So let's go ahead and get started. Tip number 1, make a goal for yourself, whether it be for you personally or for your kids. I typically, whenever I am making goals, I like to write them down and I like to make them very manageable and give myself a time frame. That is the best way to accomplish a goal. And I make a few different goals every year for myself. I typically make one for myself, for my school, for my students, a place I would like to be in teaching, and a place I would like to be with my students. One goal I have for this year is to make whatever the rest of the year looks like for them the best it possibly can be. And then another part of that goal is to hopefully be back in person. I clearly have no control over that, but whenever we do go back, I just hope that I can be the best teacher possible for them and help them transition the easiest, because my students, they are 6th graders. They have never been in our building before. So normally by now they would know the ins and outs and all the back hallways of the building, and they don't this year. So it's going to be very different whenever we do go back, which hopefully is very soon. And then I like to make a personal goal for myself. I will also be making a health goal for myself. I would like to just be a little bit more active and a little bit healthier. And I'm hoping by coaching track this year, that will help me a lot in that effort, especially during the winter months, since our track season has been split up into 2 different parts, which I will put in a separate video. I'm going to put my complete ab workout that I do with my kids in an upcoming video, so be on the lookout for that. And so I just want to be healthier overall. So I'm going to make a health goal for myself, and I'm also going to make a YouTube goal and just some personal goals for myself, kind of just to be a bit more calm and a bit more put together and not have my apartment get too messy this year. Those are just some goals I've set for myself. And I think it's really important that as teachers, you set those goals for yourself so that you know where you want to be personally, and you know what you would like to accomplish before you ask your students to write a goal for themselves. My goal for YouTube is we are currently at about 62, 65-ish subscribers. And so my goal for myself by the end of 2021 is hopefully to have 150 subscribers. I hope by March to have at least 100. So by the end of 2021, I'm putting it out there, I am hoping to grow this channel to 150 subscribers. So hopefully you guys are going to help me get there. Tip number 2 is to have your students set a goal. If you are setting goals for yourself, have your students set a goal. And I like to have my students set a few different goals for themselves. I like them to set a goal for themselves personally, something they would like to accomplish in the new year. It doesn't have to be by the end of the school year, just within the year. And then I also have them set a goal for the rest of the semester as far as content goes. If you're elementary school, I typically would pick either math or reading, a math or reading goal for them to focus on. But if you're middle school or high school, then your content would be a great goal for them to set. So do they want to master a math skill? Do they want to improve their grade? Do they want to get a C on the next report card or end the year with a C? Something like that. Just for them to set a goal for themselves for your content so that it gets them re-engaged back into the classroom, and it also gets them thinking about how they are doing so far in their classroom and how they can do in your classroom and how they can do better. And I think this is always really important as we're reflecting throughout our time as teachers and the students as well, to teach them to be reflective about those what they are doing and what they have already done, and to show them that yes, you may have not have done as well as you would have liked in the first part of this year, but it's not over. You can still change and you can still do better. And showing them that first step is setting that goal, and then second step is having them make steps toward achieving that goal. So it makes it a little easier for them. And I like to ask some follow-up questions to my students. So I ask them to set a personal goal, and I ask them to set a goal for our classroom. And then I ask them, okay, so if that's your goal, how are you now going to get there? And I kind of put this all in a little worksheet. If you'd like to see it, just DM me and I'll send it to you. But it's all kind of in a little worksheet for them to complete just as a warm-up as they're coming back into the classroom the first few days back. And then I also ask them to look at their grade and ask them what assignments do they think they could do better on, where do they need to improve, especially since the new year kind of happens right around interim time, which is halfway through the second marking period. So it's a really great time to have them reflect and look at what they need to maybe redo or relook at before we move forward for the rest of the marking period. So tip number 3, which I kind of already talked about a little bit, is help your students make a plan for achieving their goal. It's great that they make a goal and it's great that they write it down, but if you're not helping them to achieve that goal or make a plan toward achieving that goal, then it's kind of just words to them. So help them make a plan and keep them accountable to that plan. Have them tell you what their goal is and what their plan is going to be. Have them make manageable steps. So if they have maybe a D right now, maybe they want to end the marking period with a C. And they're going to do that by making up this assignment, and studying for this upcoming test and turning their assignments in on time for the rest of the marking period. Those are very manageable goals for 6th graders and any student really, as long as you're not giving them too much work. And I think it really helps them and holds them accountable to their own wants and their own dreams, and showing them that it is possible to do what they want in life. They just have to be dedicated and they have to make a realistic plan toward that. Number 4, remind your students of the expectations and hold them accountable to help them achieve their goal. So remind them of what you expect from them every single day, whether it's coming to class on time, coming prepared, having your homework, the asynchronous lesson from the lesson before done before you come to class or by a certain day or time, and holding them accountable to that and reminding them these are your expectations, this is what you are expecting. I know in our school personally, Google Meet has updated, so we have the raise your hand feature and we have breakout rooms, and I've kind of gone over those expectations as they've been added, but I've never gone over them all together holistically with all the other expectations I had for them. So just reviewing expectations, especially since we are halfway through the year, they've now been off for 2 weeks. They are kids, they forget things. So just reviewing those expectations, and I promise you, if you review those expectations, it can also help them to achieve whatever goal they are setting for themselves. Because then they remember, oh yeah, I have to turn all my assignments in by this date. And that can help them improve their grade if that's their goal, or improve their understanding. Reminding them that if they're invited to a small group, that they are expected to attend. Just those things to help them achieve their goals and to help your classroom, whether it's in person or virtual, run a lot smoother is going to really help you in the long run. This is kind of tip number 4, part 2, but also showing them where they can improve and having them self-identify where they can improve. So maybe they didn't, showing them the standards if they're old enough and what assignments go with which standards, so they can see, okay, I've gotten A's on these assignments and they all link to this standard, but this standard comes after that one and I haven't gotten those assignments, I haven't gotten as good of a grade on those assignments, so maybe I need a little bit more help on that standard. That way, not only are you telling them where they are missing things, so you can go back and reteach them, but they can see it for themselves. And if you have littler kids or older kids, you can make this a little bit more challenging or a little bit more in depth or a little bit easier depending on where you are in the grade level. Maybe if you're elementary and you're doing a reading standard, rather than giving them the whole standard, just saying like chunking it down into easier words, like can read 10 words in a row, can identify sight words, something like that they can understand and they can know, and they can self-assess themselves, and then you self-assess them or you assess them, and you guys can compare results, so that it's not just you telling them, hey, you're doing really bad on this. It's them saying, okay, I think I need some help with this, and then you're kind of just agreeing and putting that extra emphasis on, yeah, I found that too, so let's see where we can help. And finally, tip 5 for creating a great new year for yourself and your students. So my fifth and final tip is to have some sort of incentive for reaching your goal, whether it be for your class, for your students, or for yourself. Always getting something out of it, for whatever reason, drives us a little bit more to get that goal accomplished. So for my YouTube channel, it will be giveaways. Every time we hit a milestone, I will do a giveaway, and I promise you guys the giveaway is coming very, very, very soon, within the next week. So definitely make sure you're subscribed so that you can be entered into that giveaway and you can be notified when that video is coming up. Also, for yourself, maybe it's if you run a mile every single day for a week, you get a ice cream at the end of the week or something like that. For your kids, if maybe everyone does really well on an assessment, like everyone gets, or the class average is above an 80, then we'll have a movie day or a pride lunch or something like that for them. And I think they'll be really excited and really want to do that. And it'll kind of drive them to work a little harder, maybe a little harder than they would normally work, because they weren't getting something out of it, and now they are. So those are my 5 tips for having an awesome start to your new year for yourself or your students. If you're not a teacher, you can always just apply these to yourself and to maybe your coworkers or the people you work with or surround yourself with, or even your family or your own children, nieces, nephews, whoever. These are awesome tips to help you start off the new year on a great foot. And as we know, 2020 was a very rough year, especially for me towards the end. So starting off 2021 on a great new foot would be just the best thing. So I hope you all have a great and healthy new year, and I cannot wait to see what the new year brings and to see this channel grow, and I cannot wait to take you all along with me. So like always, I'll see you on the next one, and have a magical day. Bye.